It's July 9th and I am back attempting to do this what's in my homeschool binder video. I started yesterday, got almost finished, and was interrupted, and I did not have time to do it last night. As you guys know, my kids are wilding out this summer. They won't go to sleep until tomorrow, and last night I think it was about midnight, and I finally said, hey, it's time to shut it down. I'll put my foot down. We have something going on, so they're kind of irritated right now. Anywho, this is my binder. I sit here pretty much, look at my mess, at the computer, and my binder sits here, so I can just grab it and write. Because I used to do a lot of stuff online, and you know, using different spreadsheets and stuff like that. But the more kids you get, the less time you have. It just became too tedious, because I have ideas that popping in my head like right then, and then in the next millisecond somebody's calling me, and I cannot just log on like that, and if I lose that thought, it's gone. And yeah, so I figure if I just have some paper handy, I can just write it down, go back to it later on. And I find that, I mean, I have elephant memory, but you retain a lot easier and longer if you write. Because nowadays everybody's so electronically leashed. It's like you can't even retain a phone number. You know, call so and so. What's so and so's number? I don't know, because you're so used to just picking up your phone, pushing a button. You know, I gotta check my phone. Let me pull the number up. Okay, what is that about? So, yeah. And God forbid you lose your phone and then you have nobody's phone number. So, write it down. But I do use my phone to, and I'll get to that, to, you know, as a part of this planning. So, yeah, there's my binder. And I keep a ton of these things around, and right now it's mainly homeschool, but some random notes in here, because sometimes I get phone calls and this is what I have out. So it's like what I was working on with Son. I was compiling ideas for his curriculum for next year. So yeah, this is my chicken scratch writing, guys. Here looks like a list of Lakeshore learning things. Yeah, okay. Here, African American book list. This is my long list. So, books that pretty much I would like to own. I come across them, you know, anywhere, suggestions. And I just write them down so I won't forget them later on. But they're not their age level yet, so I'm not really, per se, buying those books. So, that's what that is. Let's see what's over here. A tag video. This is a cloth diaper related tag. Over here, okay, this is how I keep track of what the kids are learning. And over here, the letters coordinate with their names, so I know who's doing what. We keep up with scope and sequence, and I can transfer this into their own binder later on, for record's sake, but for my own sake. We don't have to keep records here in Texas, so this is it just helps me, so I know that they're, you know, actually mastering scope and sequence wise. And I don't have to go back and say, okay, what do we do, such and such, and then the videos too. And so we are working on finishing up what your kindergartner needs to know. And yes, I wrote the plan for the whole year using that book, because I build on it, we are going to move out of that book, because a lot of this stuff is right here, and this is stuff they're already doing. And that's why I said we'll be finished with that book soon. What I do is keep the outline, the topics, and up the learning, so that'll go up to first grade level. They can, understand a little bit better. So we're going to build on it, and I'll open up the first grade book and see what aligns with kindergarten. And geography, we're going to learn about such and such country, so we will use the first grade level. So anyhow, but a lot of this math, sensory, attribute patterns, counting ordinal objects, quantity and recognition, their fine and gross motor, their pencils. I assess how they use their pencils and their crayons, and their coordination, lining up objects, their pouring, measuring, scooping. A lot of this comes in the science that we do, and a lot of this is just what am I trying to say? File folder games. What they're learning using those file folder games. So yeah. Okay, my random notes there. And this looks like Rainbow Resources, a list I have started. So I will cross that stuff off. Probably in September. Well, actually no, because, a couple of those things I want for next month. So, yeah. But that list is long. I still have a lot in the cart that I haven't written down on here. Here we have preschool activities, all subjects. So I like to keep centers going, workstations, and I need lots of ideas down, because I don't like to have them sitting. Sometimes we'll complete a lesson and they're sitting for 10, 15, 20 minutes because I'm trying to come up with something else to do, because I didn't have enough activities for them. When you have multiple little children like this, they don't all want to do the same thing at the same time. So that's why they do workstations, but I need to have a lot of them. So this is still a long work in progress, but it's getting there. And a couple of these things that we've already done. It doesn't mean that we're not going to keep doing them. It just means that we've done them. So random notes over here, resources for reading. That, check that website out. Some stuff that I'm going to pick up there. And yes, you see scribbled. That's the stuff I don't like. I will rewrite this page because I just don't like looking at stuff like that. Here I've started keeping a reading log for my sake. They're good literature based books. Not that we have not, these are all the books that we've read. These are the ones I'm keeping track of, so that I can look back at the lessons and say, okay, this is what they got out of this. Some of this we'll do some arts and crafts out of, and things like that. So this list is going to grow tremendously. But we do reading on a daily basis. And it may not be books like this, but these are, like I said, these are the ones I am putting in here. They're pretty much the 5 in a row type books. Here, it looks like a recipe. Okay, it's a recipe for paint. So it's pure paint. So stuff like this is what I'm keeping in here. This is why I use paper, because I can't find a planner that will fit my needs. I need a lot of paper. If you know of one that'll fit, that'll do this, then hey, I'll buy it. Okay, this looks like sunlight readers. Okay, and books needed. Okay, yeah. So yeah, we don't use sunlight, but I love their book selects. So You see X's, a lot of them I have already crossed off. So I am progressively moving down the list, and this is just in the last month. And it helps me to keep track, you know, by writing, so I don't have to go back and, oh, what is this? Or I have to look it up, and that's too tedious. If I have it in this on this page, I just open this up, look on a computer, and bam, I got it. Okay, this is the lesson plan. Back to that. Okay, book purchases. This is a tip. Let me give you guys a tip. Okay, these are all the books that I have purchased. This is June. Okay, I am keeping up with the books from this point because, you know, I'm on a book kick. So that's what you're going to see, a lot of book hauls. And I found that this way, I don't have to run to the shelf to see if we have a book if I come across it, because it's here. When we do a lesson, I can look in here on this list, see what book lines up with the lesson, and there we go. I don't have to search on the shelf for supplements. Okay, so all of those you have seen in the haul already. And that's 52. Okay, yeah. Those are on the new shelf. Book purchases. You have not seen this haul yet. It's coming. Okay. So this is 25 books. And I found all 25 books from one person in one lot. And that's how I'm buying these books. Because individually it would cost too much. And it saves me a lot of time and stress if I find exactly what I'm looking for in one place. So I'm getting really lucky. There are ones that are on my list already, and I get to, you know, just find them from one person. So somebody shares my interest in books. But yeah, 25 bucks, and guys know I don't pay a lot for these books. So look out for that haul. And then let's see, that starts 26 and it goes to 30. So that means, or actually it goes to 29. I just switched colors. But this is what I've started color coding. So those 5 books are from one person. Okay. So that's, no, I just did that haul yesterday. Yeah, I did that haul yesterday because it has a Nazi. So you saw that haul. They came in already. Okay, and then we have 30 all the way down to... Yeah, this one's huge, guys. I am waiting on this package. 30 all the way to 83. So yeah, you do the math. That's one haul from one person. Major score. I was so excited. And they were, I mean, every book that I wanted. Okay, and then we have 84 to 101. That's another person. We have 102 to 106. That's another person. 107 to 109. That's another person. I try to buy in bulk, but sometimes I have to get individual or just 2 or 3. But that's fine because I need them. 110, that's just one book. It's a 40 story, but I needed that one. 111 to 120. That's all one person. So that's, I don't know, 5 or 6 more book hauls. But look how many books that I have scored. I mean, just in that one lot, I think that's like 60-something books. So, again, writing them down. Some of my lots that I'm finding, I have doubles, some triple. You will find out why. Some of the doubles I'm going to keep because I have the twins and I want them to buddy read. But yeah, the other ones that are not doubles on purpose or triples on purpose, there's a reason for that. It's a big surprise. So what I suggest is doing something like this because you can copy the list a couple of times, and put one in your car. Because when you're going out shopping to the thrift store like I do, you come across these books, you get really excited, and you can't remember if you have the book. So you end up buying it, and you come home and you're like, oh, I have that book already, I didn't need it. You know, so if you have this list, you can quickly look over and find out, okay, I have this book already. 2, give the list to your kids, to your husband, you know, what have you, when you're out, when you're at the library. Same thing when I'm online. When I'm online looking for these books, now it's a lot easier for me to look through these lots of books and say, hey, I have that book. It's like, so I will put them in my cart if I'm on eBay, and then I'll go back and look on the list and say, okay, I already have it, or I found it in that lot. Let me get it out of there. I don't need it. Because I've almost purchased the same book twice because I forgot it was in a lot. So, if that makes sense. But yeah, make some copies. I also sometimes will take pictures of that phone with my camera. Take pictures of lists or notes or you know, even my grocery list. And I go to the store, you know, because I'll lose the paper or I'll forget to look at the paper, but I can remember to look at my phone. Yeah. So yeah. And then again, when we are doing our lessons, it's easier for me to look at these lists and say, okay, I can use that book for this lesson. I can use this book for that lesson and things like that. And the great thing about me buying books like this in big lots is I don't have to buy them again. A lot of these are carryover to 1st, 2nd grade level, and they're going to go through all 4 kids. So I won't have to purchase these later on. My goal is to, now I can say I'm complete. I don't really need to get any more. Once we get these in, I've gotten everything I needed. And the twins will select the books that they want, like per se a series that will be their treat for their free time reading. Say if they want to do Jimmy B. Jones, and that'll be what they will select. The rest of these are, you know, they already have a complete library that they can read from. So that's how I'm looking at my investment. I don't spend a lot. You guys, you know, I'm all about a budget. That's another video. If you want to know exactly how I'm doing this, hit me up with your comments, and I'll tell you exactly how I decide, you know, on what to purchase and how much to spend and things like that. But yeah, just my little tips in here. And so far, let's see. Yeah, this works. Eventually, I may do a master list, you know, make it all on the computer and stuff like that. But like I said, there's really no need. It's easier and it's color coded. And I can, you know, I understand my writing, so it works. No more doubles, triples, quadruples. You know, I forgot. Let's see what else is in here. So far, nothing else is in this one, except for that receipt from yesterday. Yeah. Oh, I take that back. Oh, there is something else in here. I forgot I skipped pages so that I can have some room. Okay, we have story prompts for their writing journals. They're going to start with my family, my favorite color, my favorite toy, book, animal, their favorite show. And they are not, they are beginning writing, but pretty much I'm going to take dictation. So they will tell me, I will let them draw a picture, and we're going to go from there. And then eventually I want them to go into the twins and to writing it themselves. We're still working on that. Their motor skills, they were very early preemies, so they are ahead, but some things they're still needing work on, and then the fact that they're twins, I have to realize that they are different from my other kids. They're learning differently. So some things I've learned from the older kids, to do differently with them. And yeah, they learn a whole different way. So twins are so uniquely special. Over here, workstations. Okay, so I have compiled some more workstations and centers, and tentatively what months I would use them in. And I already know some of these I have to change out, but this is I based it on a book. Let me see if I have that book. No, I don't have it handy, I don't think. And I'm not getting ready to get up to get it, but there's a book. I will probably just have to do a separate video on that, but yeah. So that's what that is. And again, I write the pages there so I know what to do, and we just build around that, and that's how I set up their different stations that they can work through independently. Some of it is group based, but a lot of it is something I just set out and they can just work through on their own. And then songs. So sometimes if I find a new song, it's a cleanup song, I'll put it in here. But I have a whole collection of songs. Just something to, just a catchy tune, just to redirect their attention, make sure they're listening. Things like that. Things that we do, songs we do for circle time. New songs that I want them to learn. Poems and stuff like that. I will keep that in here. So, okay. And now it looks like that is it in this one. Yeah. So yeah, because I started fresh for this this summer in this book, but pretty much in all of my binders, this is how I set up. Like I said, that's why I can't find a planner, a pre-made one online. I don't want to make one on my own, but I would love to buy one that would fit as much as I need, and have all of these things that I could, just write down and not have to go through and cater it and all that kind of stuff. So, a big book of ideas. I need lots of paper and space. But if you guys have tips and tricks for, like, the books, how you organize them, other than color coding them on the shelves and things like that, we'll get into that later on. Library skills, because that's part of that's what they're going to learn, library skills. Part of a lesson. Let me know, how you stay organized, what helps you, what makes your day run smoother. This is pretty much how I do everything, not just homeschool. I just have to keep notes and notes. I try not to make tons of what am I trying to say? Pointless notes, and paper. Everything I write is, it has to be the afterthought, so it's already there, not just ideas, random ideas. I think it through and then write it down. Oh boy. So yeah, look out for these book hauls. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 book hauls coming up, and they should be up. All the books should be in by the end of next week. I'll take that back, because I you know what, this is not even finished, because I bought some more. I keep doing this, and I have some more I need to buy. So yeah, what I forgot to say is, when I'm buying them, instead of waiting until they come in, as I buy them, I'm writing them on the list. So that also I'm not behind. But I have some I bought last night and or yesterday, and I have some I need to buy now. And so they're sitting in a cart, which I'm getting away from, because if they're sitting in a cart, I have too many carts. So I don't like to have the carts all over the place. I look in one place for the books, and I write them down on the list if I really want them, and then I buy them. I like to own my books rather than to do library. But yes, they are going to move out of the cart, the ones that I have narrowed down. And oh yeah, last night, I need to check, or yesterday, I found a okay, I'm rambling, but I found a teacher, and I hit the jackpot. She's moving grades, and she had a ton of books, I think, for a very nice price, and I'm making a deal with her. So that's another that'll be a whole nother page. So anywho, I know it's a little long, but yeah, let me know how you like the video. Thumbs up, subscribe, and I'll be back.